Boom, guys, listen, we're in the gym and right now we just finished a session of training legs. Now, this wasn't like the typical leg session you have, the squats, the leg press, whatever, right? What we did in this session was essentially just work on our knees and strengthening our knees and the ligaments. I use a lot of knees over toes, guys, exercises. Go check him out, by the way, big shout out. But anyways, sessions like these, where you don't feel like you're doing that much sometimes. These sessions are so important, okay? I can give you guys another example. I know a lot of you guys are like fighters and stuff too on this channel, but this goes for anything. These sessions that we're actually working on stuff like this, our knees, because it's not the most intense, like I said. We're doing squats, we're doing like body weight stuff. The intensity is low, like the weight for this thing, intensity means weight, that's for this. The volume is low, we're not doing too many reps either. Staying under a pain threshold, really important for these, especially when we're going to do knee stuff, we're staying under a pain threshold. So the volume isn't high, the intensity isn't high, and the rest times are quite, long. So it's not the workouts where we get the sweat on, where we you go all out and we feel like beasts. And these workouts are so important and they're so easy to neglect. It's so easy to sit there and be like, well, yeah, I wasn't going to do much anyways, so I might as well just skip. It's so easy to think that. But this, guys, is so important. These details, they matter. They matter so much too. And like I said, a lot of you guys are fighters. The reason why some people just get better at stuff, like faster than others, is because they take the time to develop the skills. For example, going to technique sessions that are super boring, where you're basically just learning, boom, a jab, for example, right? You're just standing there, repeating, you're focused on the details. Stuff like that is so important. And this goes for anything in life. I swear to God, these sessions, these small things, they add up. And the thing is that, even like, this goes far beyond fitness, but when it comes to like showing up for this stuff, it carries a long way. Just the consistency of, if you can, because this is something you learn in the military, like doing meaningless tasks. Then maybe that's why it's so easy for me, because I've done a lot of meaningless stuff, like put rocks in a pile and put them in another pile, stuff that you're basically training and stuff. So that's maybe why it's easier for me, but also it's just the way I built up my training systems with the frequency and everything. If you want to learn more about that, by the way, I have a free guide under this video. You guys can go check out. It's totally free. You can, download it. I do have a training program too, where you can work with me. If you want to check that out too, I'll put the link here too, all right? So you can choose. But anyways, it's just the frequency, and I wanted to give you guys a great example of that and why this is so important, why this actually matters. Is my face focused in? Maybe that's better. And why this is so important, okay? Because, for example, when you're doing, I'll turn the camera around. When you're doing Nordics, right? Are you guys familiar with Nordics? Maybe you're not familiar with it. I'll try and show you guys. For Nordic hamstrings, I put the weight off now. Wait, can I balance this thing? Ooh. Okay, there we go. I'll try and balance that. So, when you're doing Nordics, right? You're doing basically, usually, you're having something fasten. I can't use this now, god damn it. Okay, basically, I'll do this here. When you're doing Nordics, right, you basically have something locking your legs in and you fall forward, boom. Not that fast, of course, because your legs are locked in. And your hamstrings, right, the eccentric, they take up the force, and so you build your hamstrings using that in like a different way. It's not the concentric like this, it's just the extension of it that you're training, putting load on that. And so, for an exercise like that, right, you're not really getting a lot of intensity, especially in the beginning. You're not getting a lot of intensity because it's only the body weight, not even your body weight, because you're not even your full body weight on there. And you're not really doing that lot of volume because you're not able to get that many reps. It's a really, really difficult exercise. Try it. And that's somewhere that frequency really, really plays a big part, because we don't need to go all out for an exercise like that. We don't. We can do some sets, not get sore, come back another day and do them again, and do them again, and do them again. And that's essentially how I built my frequency training, the principle of that, and I've just applied it to all other stuff. So that's why it's so powerful, the whole frequency thing. And this exercise, it really shows that. And we can apply that for many, different things in life. Even like small stuff, because we basically break stuff down so simply that we can execute it, and then we say, hey, how many times can we execute it, essentially? Not in the sense of, hey, how many times can we execute it in terms of volume, just in the sense of, hey, let's go and do this again. Hey, let's go and do this again. So it's like easy for us to do, because if we can't get ourselves to do it in the first place, then there's no point. We're not going to see any progression, right? So that's something I wanted to share, because if you can see this principle in life in general, whether that be you training for fighting, whether that be you getting better with women, whether that be you starting making money, whatever, the frequency protocol, it applies to anything in life. Like, I'll give you another example. Maybe this is more applicable to all you fighters out there. I'll show you. Can I balance this thing again? Maybe not. Maybe here. Maybe not. Maybe here. No. Okay. Anyways, I'll try and pivot the camera down. When I was prepping for my Muay Thai fight, right? I had issues throwing my knees, because I would bend this other knee. This knee is supposed to be straight. I was bending it like this and throwing my knees. And so I realized that, hey, what's the issue here? What's the real issue? The issue is a lack of strength in our feet to be able to hold ourselves while we have our knee straight. And so I just broke down the action, and I started working on my foot strength. So I'm going to show my feet now. If you don't like that, just close your eyes for a second. But anyways, I essentially took this, I held on to this bar, for example, or I was next to the ring for this one, and I just stood there, straightened my knee, and I worked on this. Calf movements, boom. Just worked like that. Standing on my toe. Just working on that toe strength, essentially. There's muscles down there too, guys. Whether you believe it, but hey. So I broke down the movement, and I was like, hey, let's do this again, let's do this again, let's do this again. And that made such a difference, because I could go back to the full movement and really, really perform it well. It was a total game changer, because just by breaking down the movements, just that simple, when we go back to the movement, we're not going to be like that much better. We're going to be that much better, because there's a lot of problems. A lot of the problems that we face comes from just fixing a small thing, and then we see an insane result. I have a friend of mine called William Brown. He teaches us to set up offers and stuff, right? I was at his mastermind back in February, I believe, or early March. And a lot of what he does, right, is he goes into businesses and he can look at something simple, something really simple, and suddenly they see massive result just because he fixed a really, really small thing like that. And so I guess it comes back to the point of, because, yeah, I want to say that too. They don't just see really, really small growth. They see like insane growth just because they changed one simple thing. And I guess the point of this video is that details matter. And if you skip out on details like that, if you skip out on workouts like that, where you need to fix your knees, whether that be, or shoulders or whatever, you're not going to perform well at all. And also, like, for recovery work, that you're not gonna, like, if you're doing stuff wrong in the first place, like, let's say you're doing bad shoulder work and your shoulder is fucked, and like your shoulders is gonna stay bad. Your shoulders is gonna stay bad. You're gonna have pain on the bench press unless you go in there and do the work that's necessary. And you need to do that. You need to have the discipline when it comes to these smaller actions too. And that compounds throughout life. That compounds. Because if you're able to do that boring work, then the fun work, the work that you really want to do, then that will become insanely easy. All right? With that, take care, focus on the details, and God bless. Boom. Boom!